Welcome into the first extra time of 2021. Ian Darke, Julien Laurens and Stevie Nicol with me to answer your tweets. And the first one is about New Year's Eve. How did you celebrate? Stevie, did you make it to midnight?
Didn't know. I was in my bed at 10:15. 10 o'clock. We never celebrate midnight, Hogmanay.
No.
Don't do it.
No, it's a bit late. Bit late for you, Stevie. Ian, did you make it to midnight?
Oh yeah, I always stay up, but I'm not really a New Year kind of guy. But I stay up and watch a show called Jules Holland here in the UK, where they have a lot of rock stars on and that. So that's quite a nice way to send
Jules
the New
Holland,
Year.
he's still
I can't
going.
tell you it was a wild time. It wasn't.
And what about the Laurent household, Jules? Did your family all stay up?
Yeah, so the two boys stayed up. The little girl that you heard crying yesterday went to bed earlier. The boys played online with their friends. We had a quiz on Zoom with our friends because, as you know, here in London, and Ian was the same, it's very strict rules. You can't have guests coming to your house for dinner or for a party. So we stayed, all the five of us. It was really cool. And we stayed until midnight and then watched a bit of NBA and then went to sleep. You know, that's what we do.
Jules, any of your family play the accordion?
No,
give it all that.
No, you know what? We played. We eat frog's legs as we're playing the accordion with the beret and the baguette and the arm. We just go like this.
Accordion.
Yeah. The garlic around your neck. Right, Stevie. Any other stereotypes you'd like to bring up?
I'm sure it could if you let me.
Stevie, you're good at what's your one resolution or wish for 2021? I'm sure there's a big list of them that you made last night before you went to bed.
Oh. Well, actually, my granddaughter last week was asking me if I was pregnant. So there's my New Year's. She asked me if I was having a baby and I was pregnant. So I'm like, I think I know what my New Year's resolution is going to be.
Wow. So what sort of form will the diet take, Stevie?
I told you before. Just put less in my mouth.
Ian, what's your resolution, wish for the new year?
Oh, it's a serious one. I think it's the one we've all got: an end to this pandemic and a return to normal.
Oh, we need more viral videos from you, Ian. That'd be good as well.
I think I'm running out of ideas quick.
Jules?
Like I said in yesterday's show, I think it's for us, for me, to see family again, and I think it goes for everybody else who can't see their family right now, wherever you are in the country. I really hope that 2021 will give you the opportunity again.
Which club between PSG and City, Jules, is more likely to sign Lionel Messi? Which club between those two would be a better option for Leo to spend his remaining career years? I want an answer, please.
I think that, really, I'm being objective. I think there's pros and cons in both. I think, playing with Sergio Aguero would surely appeal to Leo Messi, but Aguero only has 6 months left on his current contract. So what happens next season? It's the same for Angel Di Maria. They're very good friends. I'm sure Messi would like to play with Di Maria, but Di Maria has only 6 months left on his current contract. Where will he be next season? I think Pochettino, being Argentine like Messi, similar culture, language, etc., it's quite appealing, but it's not as appealing as playing again for Pep Guardiola. I think Paris as a city is maybe more appealing than Manchester, no offense to please Mancunians. But I think there's really pros and cons. But I think financially, if you just look at the numbers, and if PSG really want to keep Mbappe and Neymar, I just cannot see, and I promise you I'm trying to find a way, you cannot have Neymar, Mbappe and Messi with their current wages in the same squad. It's just simply impossible. Whereas at City, I guess they might find a way maybe of making it work for them financially.
Ian, could you explain to an American the over-the-top love affair Englishmen seem to have with Manchester United? It looks to me that Liverpool has just as storied a past, but doesn't get the giddiness United does.
Oh, we're entering here into a tribal minefield. We will be absolutely besieged on social media. Anything you say about that rivalry. But why did the love affair with Manchester United in the nation start? Well, I think it goes all the way back to the late 1950s when the Munich air disaster and the wave of sympathy for that club at that time. So I think in short, that is where it all started. And I don't think there was a Liverpool Manchester United rivalry back then. That's something that's grown up in recent years, probably since Sir Alex Ferguson was the Manchester United manager and came in. He said he wanted to knock Liverpool off their perch, and of course that has set off a very, very bitter feud which lasts to this day.
Who were your big rivals, Stevie, when you were playing for Liverpool?
Manchester United.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not quote me on this, but I believe it all started in the early 60s and had nothing to do with football, the rivalry between Manchester and Liverpool. It was about the canals between Manchester and Liverpool. That's how the rivalry started, and then it went on to the football pitch when Liverpool and Shankly came in the mid-60s and transformed Liverpool's actual football team. So the football rivalry started then, but the actual rivalry between the two cities was all about a canal, to be honest with you.
Stevie, has Salah become too arrogant after his previous seasons? He elects himself to shoot most of the time, but seems to have lost his touch.
He's doing nothing they didn't do previously. The only difference is that he's not quite hitting the net as regularly, and is actually standing on it a little more often than he used to. But I don't think his attitude has changed whatsoever. No, not at all. I don't see it as that at all. Right now, his form's not as great as it could be, but there may be things wrong, but I would say arrogance is not one of the things that I would associate with Mohamed Salah.
Right then, boys, what about this? If you could show someone who's never watched football one match to get them to love the game, which match do you pick and why? I'll start. Everton-West Ham, obvious. Meanwhile, Ian?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. I'm definitely going to go for that game in which Paolo Rossi starred at the World Cup. I mean, Paolo Rossi, who sadly is no longer with us, but he got a hat-trick in that match, and it was a beautiful, beautiful game. Italy against Brazil at the World Cup in Spain in 1982. Show that to somebody, and if they didn't enjoy it, well, they were never going to fall in love with football. And I think it would convert a few people.
Jules?
I think I might go all the way back to 1970 and that World Cup in Mexico and the semi-final between Italy and Germany first, the 4-3 and the drama, the suspense, everything, Beckenbauer, all of that. Although the final, just a few days later, the 4-1 win by Brazil against Italy with that incredible team goal, maybe the best team performance we've ever seen in a World Cup, that final from Brazil. But I still think that the 2005 Champions League final in Istanbul between Milan and Liverpool, simply because you sat there, you watched that first half. It's an exceptional performance by Milan, one of the greatest teams ever put together. And then you said to him, but wait, you still haven't seen all of it. This is not what football is about. Football is about you can still win, regardless of what the score is. You still believe. If you still believe, you can still win. And then show him that second half, and then extra time, and then the penalties, and then I'm sure after that he'd be in love with football.
Stevie?
I can't disagree with Italy, Brazil. Can't disagree either with the Germany, France. Can't disagree with the Istanbul. But I guess if it's a new supporter, you want to show them something new, something recent. And you couldn't get anyone better than Liverpool against Barcelona at Anfield. I mean, you talk about everything, great football, great goals, drama, excitement. I mean, every single thing that you want in a game of football was in that game as well. So, listen, any one of those four would do the game proud. I just think probably a recent game would be better for a newer supporter.
Yeah, like PSG Barcelona maybe as well, Jules.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why. You know what? I had a feeling.
I wish you thought that.
You, but especially you, Daniel Thomas, was going to say that, which is cheap. It's so cheap. It's so cheap.
It is. It is.
It was a great game, though, Jules.
Ian, not you, Ian. Surely you're better than that.
Ian, who's better, Stevie in his prime or Alexander-Arnold?
Oh, well, they're very different type of players. Alexander-Arnold has not yet been named as Footballer of the Year. No. And Steve Nicol, I want to spare his blushes, was named the Footballer of the Year and could play in several different
blushing, Ian, don't worry.
At the back as well. So I'm diplomatically going to say for longevity over a long, long period and with lots of medals, it's still Stevie.
You got the trophy behind you, Stevie.
I certainly do, aye.
There you are, lovely. Ruben Dias has had a similar impact to City as Van Dijk had to Liverpool, Stevie, but it seems he isn't talked about enough.
I think that's just purely to do with how things are going at Manchester City right now. You know, when Van Dijk came in, he transformed them into European champions and Premier League champions. Dias right now has transformed City's defence into a real tight, solid unit that gives them a platform to go and win trophies. So again, you know, as usual, the decider is the trophy cabinet, and I think that's because the Van Dijk, that extra little bit, was what pushed Liverpool through that final hurdle.
Ian, since it's highly unlikely that you've commentated on a game that finished 9-9, this is a ongoing discussion. Steve, you'd prefer to watch a 0-0 than a 9-9. What was the most memorable 0-0 game that you called, Ian? Gosh.
I'm glad I had advance notice of that. I actually, when you think of it, I've probably, and all the guys too, we probably covered a few 0-0s that have been better than 3-3s. But one sticks out, now you come to mention it, and that was go back to 1997 when Glenn Hoddle was the England manager and they had to go to Italy to get a point to qualify for the World Cup. That was no easy task at all, and it was a bit of a tactical masterclass by Glenn that night. England played very well, might have even won it at the end. I think Ian Wright hit the post. And he tried all kinds of subterfuge as well. On the night before the game, Gareth Southgate was in the squad when he was just a player. And Glenn Hoddle told him to limp around the pitch during the training session to make Italy think he wouldn't be playing. Well, he was playing in quite a pivotal role in that game. But yeah, I'd pick that one out, I think, because it was really, really tense and exciting. But that's a pretty biased English view.
Final question. We all know that Shaka drove a Maserati. But what car did everyone else drive in their heyday? Well, it's only the only Formula player is Stevie, and I can't. What's the poshest car you ever had, Stevie?
The poshest? It was an Audi, an Audi Quattro.
Wow.
Yeah, that was after that. That was it.
That shocks me, Stevie.
Before and after that.
Why did you? Was that a freebie?
No. No, I got it at a reasonable price. I knew. Kenny knew the dealer.
And that was it? You
got a good price on it.
After the Audi, you just went, that was it?
After that, no. That was it. Back to the usual, getting the wains in, getting the dogs in. Well, we used to have 3 dogs. So everyone had to be around the dogs, the kids, and the shopping.
Right.
So Maserati's not good for either 3 of those.
I can't imagine you in a million years in a Maserati, Stevie. That is it. Thank you very much. That brings to the end of today's show. Lots of action, of course, coming up over the next few days. Be sure to join us. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.